Hello, Taz. How are you?
I'm good, Shauna. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Now, I've been stalking you on X and I've been looking
Have
at
you?
your,
How
yes,
dare you?
I've been silently looking at all your posts. And
Creepy.
I know it's very creepy, but there was a reason because I wanted to find out if you were doing anything for Halloween. And I saw that you went to Shocktober. What is Shocktober?
Shocktober is held at a place called Tully's Farm, and it's huge. Actually, it's one of the biggest Halloween events. It's become so spectacular now that it's one of the biggest events in Europe. It's not cheap, and they spent a lot of money on sets, but it's one of these walkthrough interactive ones. So you've got like, I don't know whether you call them rides, but you go into each different thing. There was one like the penitentiary, one called purgatory, and then they've got the coven of 13, and it's just all these different themed ones.
Right,
And yeah, some of them are really scary. Some of them I was a bit, but yeah,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really,
Did
really
you
good
get
fun.
really seriously terrified at any point?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did? Oh,
I'm not good with people chasing me. Like, even if it's my husband and me joking around, and you have a bit of a play fight, especially if it
yeah,
involves
yeah.
stairs. I will die if a serial killer ever tries to catch me. I am that person that will die in a horror film for the simple fact if I go to run up the stairs and someone chases me, my defense mechanism is the hedgehog. I
Oh,
freeze, I go into a ball. I'm going to die, obviously. So there were moments like that where there was a crazy guy with a chainsaw chasing me, and I just went, I'm no use. I would never
but
be any
that's
good in a
really
horror film.
effective. That's really effective because if you go into the hedgehog, he
You
can't
could
actually
knock them
cut off
over,
any limbs.
and you could knock them over, and they could hopefully fall over you, and you try and run the other way. But yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I think that's very good defense. So you'd be really good in a really bad thunderstorm in the middle of a field. Now, I've got a little bit of a quiz for you today,
Ooh.
and you've got four answers, okay? Where's Harry? Is he in Rehab,
Mm,
South Africa,
mm.
Melodramacito, or the UK?
Well, I could. He could be in rehab in any of those places. Rehab
Yes.
potentially, for the simple
Do you
fact
think so? Because that's the rumor going around.
there is a bit of it. There is a bit of it because he has looked very unwell. The one that shocked me the most recently was when he was at the Clinton Global Initiative and he was doing that parent speech, the parenting network. He looks very sunken in the face, very grey skin, very unhealthy. And throughout New York, actually, because you didn't have Meghan there, so the focus was on him. You could see he was either very highly agitated or the mood swings were different. Now, obviously, I am not trained in anything to do with that. This is just purely my personal opinions. To me, he comes across as someone that does take drugs, whether they are medicated or whether they are not. There's a lot of stuff where even Harry admits he smokes marijuana these days, and it is slightly stronger than what it was when, I'll be honest, when I was 17 and at college having a cheeky one behind the shed before my art class. It
Yeah.
seems to be very strong stuff these days. You can smell it for miles. So there is
You
a
had to get
chance.
high before your art class?
We were smoking with my art teacher.
Oh,
He'll be retired now, so it doesn't
great
matter.
school.
It was college. It was. Yeah, it was. It
Yeah, I
was
wish I
funny.
had gone there. That sounds fun.
But that being said, that yeah, there is a chance that Harry could be doing that, but it's such a tough one to try and work out realistically what's going on at the moment. Harry could just be
Yeah.
very, very stressed and upset. There were also rumours going around that Meghan, because she wasn't with him, she was screaming and shouting at him on the phone every single day, and he did
Oh, of
look
course she
upset.
was. Yeah, of
So
course she was.
there's so much that you could speculate from that. I don't believe he's in South Africa. I do not think he's in the UK. I mean, maybe, but there's so much
I thought
smoke
he
and
might
mirrors.
have been at his uncle's place. I thought
Oh, Charles
maybe.
Spencer.
Yeah. And I thought
Maybe.
maybe.
But either way, no matter where he is, I think it's clearly obvious that Meghan doesn't know where he is, because if Meghan really knew where he was, it would have leaked.
Yeah, we'd
Plain and
know.
simple.
We'd know.
It would leak,
Definitely.
through
Yeah.
friends, through a source. I don't think
Yes.
she knows, in all honesty. So
No, well, she doesn't. Or we, like you said, we'd know. And obviously, I think it's being tested because I think this is the first time he's done anything in about 6 years where it hasn't been leaked.
yeah.
And it's complete, radio silence. We don't know anything. Now,
Mm.
that is highly unusual, isn't it?
Oh, it's completely unusual. And we know, it did make me wonder whether this is another awakening moment for Harry, where because he's not disclosing to his wife, that he's realizing, hang on a minute, I can have privacy. I can do things under the radar. Because if you remember when it was the Queen's, not quite her funeral, but the sad few days after she passed, she died at Balmoral. Now, Omid Scobie, we know that Harry and Meghan were on friendly terms. He wasn't just the author. They both had to admit in court documents, through emails and various other means, that they were giving Omid Scobie information. Well, Omid Scobie obviously gave an exclusive, if you remember, that the Queen's body would be transported via train.
Yes.
Now, that obviously wasn't true. And many people said at the time that Harry was given that small tidbit of information to see if it got leaked. And straight away it did. And as we all know, that story wasn't true. And Omid Scobie was backpedaling at an alarming rate. So, I think
there's an interesting addition to that story, because I remember looking into that, and after that point, after the Royal Train thing, he suddenly started reporting everything about 48 hours after every other royal reporter. It was like he was too scared to go first on anything. And then very soon after that, he got dumped by Yahoo. So, because he was always late with all the news, everyone else was coming out, and it looked like he was getting it out of the newspaper.
I think perhaps, it looked like perhaps at one point he was cut off from his source, because, Harry and Meghan have to wash their hands, because he was coming out with some real...
Until his second book. Then,
that one. It's not so much that I think they had a lot of involvement with, like they did Finding Freedom. I think they had to be a bit more cautious with that. But the fact that Harry and Meghan stayed completely silent and have done nothing, despite the King and the Princess of Wales cancer diagnosis, to stop that vile rumour that they were the royal racists. So as far as I'm concerned, they might as well have been part of the book, been the third and fourth author for it, because they could have shut that down, and they haven't.
Exactly. But mind you, he did say in that book that he'd seen the letters between Meghan and the King. And he implied that someone in the palace had leaked those, but I'm sure it must have come from Meghan.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way I believe Omid, Meghan or Harry over anything that came out with regards to that royal family. There's no way that I think that King Charles or Queen Camilla or any of their staff and advisors and secretaries would have gone, oh, here's a great idea. I know they've screwed everyone over with Oprah, the Me You Can't See, with Netflix. Let's have letter correspondence between Meghan and the King, because that won't get leaked.
Well, I believe that Meghan might have written to the King, but I don't believe that she got a letter back.
Oh, yeah, no way.
Other than a form letter, because she just loves writing letters. She wrote a letter to Procter & Gamble. She changed the world.
Oh, did she? I don't think I've heard that story. Has anyone else?
Let me tell you, when she was 11, whenever you hear those words, when I was 11, it's just instantly just
straight away,
off.
you got to go, la, 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 la.
But I've got much more exciting news than that, because I was so thrilled to see that Harry is one of the 25 most sexiest men in the world.
How could you control yourself, Shauna? I mean,
well, that's it. I'm feeling so hot.
Bothered, Oh, that one. I've got so much to say, but I'm going to be nice. Because, well...
Really?
Maybe.
I'm into Friar Tuck. I love Friar Tuck. I think Friar Tuck's sexy.
It was of all time, I mean, to put Harry in the same list Richard Gere, Robert Redford, James Dean, Elvis Presley, Prince Harry. I mean, they were really, well, but
I can see it. I can see it.
Harry, I will give him this. There have been some nice photographs and video footage of Harry when he was younger, before he met Meghan, where he's not my type, but he was when he looked after himself and he worked out, and he was funny, he was cheeky, you know, in his 20s. You know, I wouldn't say he was ugly. You know, he was, I suppose, the equivalent, I suppose. What do they say about women? That we're not ugly, we're plain. Homely. Homely. That one.
He's homely.
Homely, you know?
Yes.
But his personality that's come through since, that makes him a deeply unattractive man. But as you probably know yourself, and you've probably even done a video on it, Harper's Bazaar were the only publication that was allowed to go to Colombia to cover the tour. So I can't help but feel it was a little bit of a payment. But to rate Harry more attractive than Henry Cavill,
yeah. Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Alexander Skarsgård, Eric from True Blood. That man had me tuning into the TV every week with an ice pack on the back of my neck. And then you've got Harry. I mean, they even had Joe Manganiello, who was in Magic Mike. He was Alcide in True Blood as well. I mean, that man. And then Harry. It's like they were inviting people to be mean, because there's no way. And to not
Who was it that reported on that? It was the Daily Mail, wasn't it? They reported on the old story from Harper's Bazaar. So I think they were trying to just rouse up people into a reaction and just to have really horrible comments.
I think so, and I do think that's mean. But then sometimes media outlets do that. You know, they see an actress or an actor that's maybe put on weight, and it could be for a film role, but they deliberately take pictures to get people to be cruel. One of the ones that really, really pisses me off is the one with Piers Brosnan and his wife.
Kaylee.
Yeah.
They're so much in love.
Oh, God, they are so much in love, like they were when they were together in their 20s. And, you know, they age, they get older. I mean, he is a silver fox these days, you have to admit.
Have you seen the latest? Was it Vogue? Oh my goodness. Do you see all that hair he's got? I mean, and I don't think it's plugs. I think it's real.
Oh, no, he's a beautiful man. He really is the definition of a silver fox.
Yeah.
But his wife absolutely adores her. And sure, she's not the same size that she was when she's in her 20s. How many of us are? But you can tell the way the newspapers write the articles. They want people to be unkind. They want people to be cruel. And then there'll be an article underneath talking about online social media bullying. And you're like, well, you've literally just encouraged people to be unkind.
Yes. So, I was just unkind, Taz. I feel so bad.
Why? What did you do?
Well, I was just mean about Harry.
Oh, I don't feel sorry for Harry.
Okay. I thought it was funny. Did you see that thing on X where the guy said, I didn't know Harper's Bazaar had a Braille edition?
I put that in one of my videos. That one was one of the funniest. That was just the savage, perfect, just quip. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I thought that was very clever. Now, seeing I have been stalking you, I also saw that you went Christmas decoration shopping with your mum, and you got a dinosaur with the Santa hat on, which is very Taz. Are you really into Christmas? Do you really go the whole hog?
No, I am famously known as being a Grinch. There's something about Christmas that irritates me. I mean, I do come round to it, but my husband and I go away at Christmas. I find it too much. Whereas my mother is Mrs. Santa Claus. I have to now do a Christmas video every single year. I don't know if you've seen it on my YouTube channel. There'll be one for every year.
No, I haven't. Oh,
my mum.
I'm going to have to check it out.
My mum, she is Mrs. Santa Claus. She goes absolutely nuts. It takes her weeks to put up all the decorations, and it does look incredible. Honestly, there's videos on there. I'll be doing a new one again this year.
I'll go and check it out, yeah.
But something weird happened with me, and I think it's because we've had such a miserable summer. It's about to get a lot worse in the UK because, without going political, this new government is making everybody miserable. And I thought to myself, I am going to do a few more festive decorations. I did last year. I had quite a few little bits up. this year, even if it is just behind me for the videos, I'm going the whole hog. But with regards to that dinosaur, he does have an official name. Did you hear his official name?
No.
It's His Royal Highness Reximus Maximus of Sussex, because I felt that we needed a Prince of Sussex that was, well, more intelligent and far cuter than the one that currently the title.
That's gorgeous. Well, I'm glad you're going to decorate a little bit behind you, because we're going to do our special Christmas episode, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes. And we're going to behave really badly. We should get those up. Yeah, definitely. We should get the crackers and sort of pretend to pull them.
No, I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and tell really bad jokes and things, and it'll be good.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
Yeah, good. I was so impressed by Camilla in Samoa with her tunic and trousers. I've got to say, I thought it looked so elegant, and she looked so good. I almost wish she had worn them in Australia, because she looked so good.
She wore a cream one. She wore a white one with embellishment. She wore a beautiful pale blue one for the Commonwealth Heads dinner. She had the pink one on arrival. That outfit is absolutely stunning on her. Yes. It looks fantastic, but it's also the perfect combination if you're ever going on holiday, especially to a conservative country. You want to stay covered up. Take note, Meghan Markle. And you want
to get your tunics out, Meghan.
Yeah, but she just, it was so flattering on a woman her age, but she just looked beautiful, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, she did. I was so impressed. I thought she looked great. And the other favourite outfit for me was when she arrived in Australia and she had the wattle brooch. That really moved me, when she had the Queen's wattle brooch on.
Oh, yeah.
And the story behind that. Yeah.
I was crying anyway with the Sydney Opera House. I don't know why that got to me so much, but seeing all of the images come up from all of the visits.
Yeah, it was so moving.
It's so beautiful.
But what was your favourite part of the Australian tour?
Oh gosh, to be honest, it was seeing all of the crowds. It made me so happy, because there had been such a big hype about, especially because pretty much, I think it's all of your premiers across all 6 states are Republicans. Your Prime Minister is Republican. And I was just really
But he
worried.
greeted him nicely, though. He did greet him nicely.
He did, as he did the one from the
New South Wales did as well. He brought his mum.
Yeah, and I was just, it made me so happy to see that whilst typically a lot of the politicians might be Republicans, it seems that many of their constituents don't really seem to agree as much. And the outpouring of love that Camilla had as well made me super happy. Signs where people just, we love you, Camilla. And I thought that was beautiful, because of all of the decades of abuse that she's had. How wonderful. And to see the King's face light up with everything that he's going through, I think they got a better welcome than what even they thought themselves. It was beautiful. Australia really pulled out the big guns. So yeah,
and I love the look on King Charles's face when he went out onto the Opera House sort of forecourties, the top bit, and he looked down at all the crowd, and there was this massive roar, and the look on his face, it was just like, oh my goodness, is this for me? He couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So
that was a lot of love that I think he needed to see as well. And I just, that's what made me happy. But I mean, I love Australia anyway. I can't wait to go back. So
I was so thrilled that they sort of really stepped up and wanted to make sure that it was meaningful. It just made me feel really proud. I'd love it if you could come to Australia. I'd love it if you came to Australia. That'd be fantastic.
I will do. I'm overdue. My family are in Adelaide. The last time I was out there, my cousins had another baby who's now like a toddler, and I'm like, I've really got to get out there before that kid turns 18. So I think we're going to do it the next couple of years. But I'd like to come over and maybe nip over to Samoa as well, because that looks...
Oh, wow. Didn't that look lovely?
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. So William is working with a stylist. I've got her name written down here, and it's Natasha Archer. And what did you think of his centre point tuxedo? Because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about his look for the centre point dinner. I thought he looked
What
quite...
about Prince William? He's worn
Yeah.
those jackets quite a few times now. This is now becoming like his signature style.
So do you think it's a bit of PR that they're saying that he's working with the stylist, Natasha Archer? Evidently she worked with Catherine usually.
I don't know. I mean, he's been wearing them now for a couple of years. He's worn black ones. He's worn dark green ones. He's worn blue ones. I mean,
I have to read you the description now. I want you to swoon. I'm going to read it sort of AMSR, you know. So,
okay.
Navy velvet tuxedo featuring contrasting satin lapels.
You make it sound like you could do a chocolate box advert. Lady loves milk tray there, Shauna.
He does look good in a velvet jacket, though. There's just something about it. He does.
Come on, Prince Will. I have to say that man is evolving. He's always been good looking, but with that beard, and he's definitely working out a lot more. He's just got to that. I don't know. There's just something about him. He's just looking really good. I've said it so many times. He's aging like a fine wine. He just looks good. His 40s looks very good on Prince William.
Yes. I've got to watch it because every time that I lust after Prince William, I get told off in the comments for being sexist. So I've got to...
Oh, God, I had that as well. You shouldn't be objectifying men. And I'm like... Do you know what? I'm so sick of all this woke nonsense. I'm so sick of this. If that offends you as a person, don't worry about it because I'm not really saying that about you. You know, if I want to sit there and say Prince William looks handsome, it's like my best day is when I've walked past a building site and I get a wolf whistle. And there are now some people that complain about it, that it's sexist. They will even try and get men sacked for it. Do you know what? It makes my morning. I'm happily skipping down the road going, yeah. I don't care if he was 50, bald, with a big gut hanging out of his high-vis jacket. I liked it because it made me feel good.
Yes. Or even worse than the big gut hanging out of the high-vis is the bum crack.
Yeah. They're normally the road workers, to be fair. They're the ones that are bent down and you're just driving past, you're like, you need a bigger belt, dude. Yeah, get a belt.
It happens at a certain age. It happens at a certain age because my husband, we were in sort of a big homeware store called Bunnings in Australia. Do you have Bunnings in the UK?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, he was bending over to get some tiles, some paving tiles, and I went, oh, my God.
He's going to love you telling this.
I couldn't believe it. And I thought, how did that happen? That didn't used to happen when you were in your 20s.
What I do not understand, Shauna, is women, we can have high-waisted knickers, high-waisted tights, high-waisted jeans. All I'm saying is there are men that I think that they should really, as they get older, just especially if you've got a sort of job where you need to bend down a lot, get yourself some high-waisted boxer shorts. I'm sure they can't be that uncomfortable, but they'll certainly make everyone else feel that little bit more comfortable.
Oh, that might cause it. It might be a lack of elastic. Just old undies. It's old undie syndrome. That's what it is.
Oh, they hang on to them, don't they? Men are disgraceful. I've got to the point now where I literally have to, when I'm doing my husband's washing, I'm like, they're going in the bin. They've got holes in them, holes in his socks, and he rewears them. What is wrong with them?
Yes, mind you, do your dogs chew his socks? Because my dog chews everyone's socks.
No, I do not have that excuse. He just does not throw holy socks or boxer shorts away.
Have you got really well-behaved dogs? Are your dogs really good?
It depends. They're good in the house. We've got one problem with Chia, which she can't help, and that's she pees when she sleeps. So that's a bit of a bugger, but that's not anything that she can help.
That's not bad behaviour, though. No.
When they go out, Chia has terrible recall. But nothing that I would constitute to say bad behaviour. Nothing compared to like some dogs. There's nothing. I'm just trying to think. Is there a single thing that they do which is really naughty? They try and steal each other's food while the other one's still eating it.
Yeah, all right. If you get a knock on the door, do they bark?
Leela does. She howls the place down. But Leela,
that's what I've got to stop. Yeah.
I can't handle it.
He just goes off.
Stop. Even when I tell her, shush, shush, shush. And the poor postman standing at the door, all he can hear is me going, Layla, shut up! And then I open the door, I'm like, hello, hi, oh, thank you so much. But before that, rah!
You're thinking, where's that other scary woman?
Where's the psycho? Hi.
Exactly. Now, I wanted to ask you just one more question about Harry and Meghan, and that was about the divorce rumours. Are you buying into those or not?
It's a tough one. This is a tough one for the simple fact that the timing, smack bang in the middle of the King and Queen's tour to Australia and Samoa, Catherine's just announced that she's starting to come back to work. I mean, out of all the times this could have started to happen, I found that a little bit, if anything, that is going to make people look away from the royal tour and more towards Harry and Meghan gossip, potential divorce rumours was going to be it. But that being said, there were no pap strolls by Meghan. They are definitely, wherever they are in hiding. So you think, because we've seen Meghan do angry phone call pap strolls, obviously, you know, she knows that the paparazzi are there, but she's angry on her phone, and or even, you know, just walking hand in hand, going shopping. We've had no sad Meghan. She'd add fuel to that fire if she was really trying to stir the pot.
Yes.
But there were so many signs from that Colombia tour. I mean, I saw different signs in the Nigeria tour. Harry didn't just look like a sad little obedient puppy dog that he's been trained to, where he just follows Meghan. He looked pissed off a lot of the time. And Colombia, when she was interrupting him, you know, there's literally pictures of Harry glaring at her, like wanting her to shut up. And it happened throughout. And just, yeah, their body language was off. The CBS interview, that was a big red flag as well. When Meghan starts talking about when she was suicidal, she's kind of smirking and smiling as she talks about that moment in her life, but she puts her hand on Harry's knee. And not only does he not react or hold his wife's hand, he's just looking off into the distance. And this is like...
Yes, he is. He's completely disengaged. It was weird.
Completely despondent. Completely.
The Colombia one, I just thought of a moment because you mentioned that tour. What did you think then about the dance at the end and the big kiss where she put both hands up around his face and they had the big kiss and they did the tango, or not the tango, the salsa or whatever it was?
Well, the big kiss, I mean, it's all for show, isn't it? It's all for show. But it was just typical of Meghan. It didn't seem like a natural kiss. That was, we're going to do this for the cameras. And Meghan grabbing Harry's face is about Meghan hiding Harry's face from the cameras, so hers is the only face that's seen. You know, this is why she hugs people all the time. She doesn't hug people the other way round, so it's their face facing the cameras. Meghan hugs people in a way, so it's always her face smiling at the cameras.
Yes.
She's an actress. She's always trying to, it's always like a stage performance. And she might have been kissing her husband like that, but it's quite a controlling kiss. But also if it's not, and it is pure affection, and you just want to grab your husband's face like that and say it's not control, it's just a real affectionate moment. I love my husband. We've got a very good marriage, but I certainly wouldn't be doing that in front of children and a dance class with other people there. That might be more of a private thing. So for me, it was all stage managed. It's all contrived.
Yes, very much so.
Don't you think? I mean, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't certainly smooch my husband like that in front of other people like that. I'm not prude.
Also, I thought the hands might have been actually to stop him turning away.
Pulling away.
Rejecting her. because you know, you know how he was acting sulky and, you know, really angry all the time. She might have thought, he might do a big gesture to sort of indicate to everyone, I'm not with her anymore. And, you know.
Well, I think he owes her payback for what she did when they were at that, I think it was a basketball game. Do you remember? When they were at a basketball game, and they came up on the big, what's it called, a jumbotron?
Yes.
Camera,
yes, I forgot
and
all
he
about
went
that.
to kiss her, and she went, no, like that, and then laughed it off. And I thought, that must have been so humiliating.
Yes.
That was, real cringe moment.
Yes, I forgot all about that. There's been so many significant signs like that, hasn't there, that just sort of displays that they're not really together.
Yeah,
so
the red flags have been going on for a long time, I think. So with regards to, do I think these rumours are true? I think for this time there seems to be a lot more of a chance of it being real, a separation. And my big telltale is we've got way too many English authors and reporters, and not just the gossip column magazines. I mean, Tina Brown, ex-Vanity Fair editor, she's, you know, quite a prominent person in that particular industry. She's got a good reputation. You had Liz Jones, who's always been Harry and Meghan fans, no matter what they did. She's turned on them. Jenny Bond, a very, very famous newsreader, she's gone very much, you know, oh, Harry should come back, the royals should accept her. They're all turning on Meghan only. There was another, I can't remember his name, but this morning, another well-known royal commentator. And I can't help but feel that they know something behind the scenes, because they're all being very soft on Harry, and it's all Meghan is the bad guy. Now, whilst I dislike Meghan for a lot of her behaviour, I'm not going to give Harry a free ride, because I think he's far worse. It was his family that he hurt. He's the one that sold these secrets. Meghan used him as a tool to get what she wanted, but I think Harry used Meghan just as much to hurt his family. So,
yeah, I think a lot of women feel that way. They feel it very deeply, that betrayal, and and they're just not going to give him a free pass. They're not going to forget.
Many people will, though.
Won't.
Many people will, and I'm already seeing it, because still people just see that 12-year-old little boy walking behind his mother's coffin. He's always going,
really?
Yeah, you should see the stuff, and you can see that. Not, I do believe that a lot of people feel like we do, and it's like, I mean, he's middle-aged now, but you can just see the way that they're already, like I said, they're softening the blow about Harry, and I think that Meghan is going to be the blame for everything if Harry does leave her, and it'd be poor Harry. He got taken advantage of. Poor Harry this, and I do think he was manipulated by her, but I still think
for sure. Yeah, but I think he's done his fair share of manipulating as well. But
absolutely.
I mean, I think it's going to be down to us YouTubers to remind everyone what a little poop he's been.
Oh, yeah, and that's a very polite way of putting it. Yeah. I mean, people have got to always remember, and as I said, I said this in a video, I can't remember, I lose track of how many videos I do. But the best analogy that I can give for it, it reminds me of when a man cheats on his wife and has an affair, and everybody always blames the woman he's had an affair with. And a husband, especially if he goes back to his wife, seems to get that sort of free pass. And I'm seeing something very similar with Harry and Meghan. He's the one that took the vows, that cheated on his wife. It's Harry's family that loved him, that brought him up, that cared for him, and he's the one that did that to them. So if anything, in so many ways, I think he's worse than Meghan after what he did, especially to his grandparents. But
yes, I agree. And what do you think about the rumours about the surfing instructor?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's such an odd one. There's already so many blinds that come out, and blinds, you've got to always take it with a pinch of salt. You have, but some of them do turn out to be true. Some of them turn out to be, I think, a bit of a fluke, and some of them it's not true. But they're obviously, my gut feeling is they've been leading separate lives for a long time. I think that I don't think they live together. I think that they come together to do things for their brand, and it's only now that they're realising that their brand is so toxic, there's no point coming together anymore, because people still don't like them together or separately. So this is why Harry's now really trying to go separate to save what's little left of his reputation, if any. But they have been saying that he has been hanging around with the surfing community in Montecito and California. The surf lessons coming up. Yeah, there could be some truth to it. There could be some truth to it. I'm who knows with these two? There's so much stuff that they put out there that's made up, that's put out there that. I
did wonder, I was thinking about the timing of everything, and I'm thinking, do you think this is like a plan to bring him back into the fold by the time that the Birmingham Invictus Games happens? When are they happening? In a couple of years?
Yeah, well, we've got 2025 January, I think it is, around about that. We've got the big Whistler one, the first ever Winter Games, so it would be the year after, I think, 2026.
Yeah.
I
Because I'm
don't
just
know.
wondering, because I keep getting, well, I mean, I had Andrew Loney on the show last night and he said things
Mm.
that I've said a lot of people, but the interesting thing was the time frame. I've heard from him and I've heard from many others, this 2-year thing. And I'm thinking, what's happening in 2 years? What's happening in 2 years? And I thought, Birmingham, Invictus Games.
Harry and Meghan have always been very cunning and with their plotting and planning. And something similar, I've heard rumours that Harry's trying to pretend that he's breaking up with Meghan. Think Fergie and Andrew. Harry then gets himself back close enough with the royal family, starts building up his reputation. Then all of a sudden, Harry realises he can't live his life without Meghan and Meghan can come back. But it's a hell of a lot of planning. It's a hell of a lot of planning to go behind it. I don't think that those two listen to people. I don't think that any plan that they've ever tried to do has worked out well. So I do think I think that's just speculation.
Yes. It's definitely
I
just
can't
speculation. But it's
Harry can't fake it anymore. You've only got to look at Colombia, the way he was. He cannot fake being happy anymore.
True.
He looked miserable in Nigeria. He looks miserable now. He looked really miserable in New York. And I can't see him holding out.
But do you think the misery is a performance?
No, I mean,
Don't you really? See, I just look at him. I'm just such a bitch, Taz. I just look at him, and if he's miserable, I'm just thinking, oh yeah, you're just doing that for sympathy. That's the first thought in my mind.
Meghan would do stuff for sympathy because she's an actress. You know, that one tear left eye go sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Harry. He just can't act. You try and see him acting. He's terrible at acting. I just genuinely think deep down in his soul, he's utterly miserable. I think he was miserable from that last performance when he was in his military uniform, when they went to that last concert. But do you remember when the last final one?
I thought the standing ovation was for them. And
clap,
it wasn't.
Clap, clap. They were clapping the band. They were clapping the band. They weren't clapping them. But I think Harry's been unhappy for a long time because I just think that he knows he really, really, really did make some terrible decisions. But he takes no accountability for his actions. He sees no wrong in what he's doing. Even childhood friends, which he's ditched, have said Harry has never, ever, no matter what he's done, ever apologised for anything. So I do genuinely think he's unhappy. He looks like his soul has been sucked out of him. Yes. He just doesn't. He doesn't laugh anymore. He doesn't really smile anymore. He looks like a really sad, pathetic, lonely man. And that's not me being bitchy. That's just looking at him thinking, I don't think there's any joy there.
No, I wouldn't say there was any joy there, definitely. Feels like fitting punishment to me.
It does, doesn't it? He's made his bed. I haven't got sympathy for him anymore because anytime I ever do have moments where I honestly do feel a little bit sorry for him. Do you know, I think of how Queen Elizabeth must have felt watching or hearing about them going on Oprah, knowing that Philip, her rock of 70 years, was dying. And then for Harry to then continue to attack her after Philip had died and she was grieving. The Queen was never going to last long. I mean, she lasted a year after she lost him. She was deteriorating very, very quickly. Then you had the Me You Can't See. Then they were still filming Netflix and they knew, as it turns out, that the Queen was so ill she had bone cancer. So any moment where I ever have a minute where I think, oh, do you know what, maybe Harry, and then I think, nah, that's gone. No sympathy.
The only thing I think would get him, I think it would get him sympathy if it turns out he was in rehab. I think there will be more sympathy at that point.
But then
because they'd
you
see a real vulnerable person.
Maybe, but then you
not
see
from me.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're
no
still
sympathy from me. I'm just saying, from normal people that have a heart. At that point, maybe they might be sympathetic.
I don't know. You do see celebrities use rehab for that purpose as well now. You know, they go into rehab to get that little bit of sympathy from people. But I don't know. I think Harry doesn't just need rehab. I think Harry needs deprogramming. He's so far detached from who he was. The word salads he comes out of. He's like a little parrot, you know. You see Harry on stage and it looks kind of like Harry, but when his mouth opens, it's just
Yeah.
Meghan's voice you hear. So he's probably going to need a little bit more than Rehab. But until
it's
he
awful.
grovels and says, I have done the most awful things to my family, things I thoroughly regret. So he is man enough to actually turn around and say that, then no.
No,
I
don't see that happening. Just to wrap up, I wanted to ask you about, this is another stalking question. You went to Great Windsor Park.
I was going to say, I've got enough of those going on at the minute, but yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, no, sorry. I don't want to attract any. I've got one now. Great Windsor Park.
Yes.
Is it beautiful?
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. We only briefly went there because I stayed at my friend's Amber's house who lives in Ascot. So then we decided to, I say we, my husband, he came and picked me up the next day and we took the dogs around there. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. We're going up there, not next weekend, the weekend after again to go. We're going to do the proper full long walk, the miles all the way down to the castle.
Haunted. That's haunted. The Windsor Great Walk. Yeah, the long walk. Yes.
Well, we're going in
you have to
time.
be there at a certain time, though. You have to be there. Evidently, it's when you walk away from the house, and it's where there was a changing of the guard. And there's a bench there, evidently. And some people sometimes hear the footsteps in the gravel at the time of the changing of the guard.
Well,
I don't know if they have guards there anymore, but this is back in,
Yeah. Well, we're going to walk down to the castle and then walk back up, and then we're going to go around I think it was the Victoria Falls, the bit which you probably saw the photographs of that I posted on Twitter, and it's a big lake, and we're going to go around there. But even if there are ghosts around there, all it would take is for Leela and Chia to even smell a squirrel, and all you hear is woo, 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 woo. So we're probably going to make it into the news for noisiest dogs that have ever made it around Windsor Castle. So
well, I'll look out for that. Well, I'll look forward to seeing you again next month. I will continue with my stalking of your Twitter page, and I'll have more to talk to you about then.
Well, Shauna, if you're stalking me, all I can say is you're my favourite stalker. So thank you very much. You stalk away.
I will. Okay, Taz, thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.
You take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.